Hi, I'm Heather. Welcome to class. Today we're going to do some forward bends and we're going to utilize a stick. Now you can use any stick. I'm using one of my headstand sticks. So you could potentially use either just a straight piece of dowel, which might be longer than this, or perhaps a broom handle, which obviously you might have the broom head attached and you just have to navigate that, but the rod will still serve you well. And before we begin, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like, share and comment so that those actions contribute to YouTube's algorithm, sharing this content with other people who are looking for inspiration for their practice. Before we begin, if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll start in Uttanasana. Take your feet apart, hip width, and bring your rod behind your calf muscles, the upper calf muscles. Just have a slight bend of the knees. Hold the rod and press your shin bones back, press your calf muscles back into the rod, but lengthen your chest forward. So as you press your calf muscles back into the rod, you're pulling the rod forward against the calf muscles, lengthen the breastbone forward. You're not necessarily trying to have the spine parallel to the floor. It can be on a slight diagonal lean downwards, but do try at this stage to keep your front body quite long. So you're opening the back of the knees as you're pressing the calves into the stick. Pull on the stick and then draw yourself down without bending the knees. So top of the calves, pressing, hitting into the rod. The calves broadening against the rod, shin bones hitting back. You're pulling on the rod to bring yourself further into the forward bend. And the intention is to bring the abdomen along the thighs, crown of the head down towards the floor, and go on pressing the shin bones back towards the rod, resisting the rod back against the calves. And then we'll slowly come up all the way. So when we work like that, it can give us an indication of how much we're wanting to engage the thighs. If we've got the rod and we're pushing the shins back into the rod, but we're pulling the rod into the calves, and we've got to work the quads quite firmly. So let's bring that awareness down onto the floor in Paschimottanasana. Now, obviously, I've got this little bit of padding, which can serve to make it a bit more comfortable underneath the calves. If you haven't got that padding, you might want to put a blanket over your rod so that it's a little bit more comfortable. So I've got, again, the rod under the upper part of the calves there, and I'm pressing the calves down so that potentially the heels can lift up. So hit the calves down into the rod, lift the heels up. You've got to be engaging the quadriceps. See if you can keep your heels up, and we'll take the arms up. Urdhva Hasta Dandasana. Lift up through the sides of the waist as you press your thighs down. And as we start to come forward, the heels will want to come down to the floor. So, okay, let them come to the floor as you reach forward, then catch the outer feet. If you can't catch the outer feet, put your belt around the outer feet. We're going to see if we can lift the heels again in a moment, because right now there is a slight bend in the knees. But as you press your shin bones down, reassert the lift of the chest, then see if you can go further and pick the heels up off the floor. So you can use your hands as well, but particularly use your quadriceps. So you're broadening the back of the knees. Maybe you can go further into Paschimottanasana. Keep working the quadriceps, engaging the kneecaps. See if you can keep your heels lifted off the floor. And then we'll come back up, inhale, all the way up, remove the stick. So giving the calf muscles a little bit of a rest. And then we'll bring the stick underneath the very top part of the hamstrings. So lift the legs up, right up underneath the lowest part of the sitting bones. Press the thighs down, and it's almost as if the sitting bones want to lift up off the floor a little bit. So roll yourself to that point that you feel like you're slightly lifted up off the floor. Again, Urdhva Hasta Dandasana. Lift the arms from the action of pressing the thighs down. Inhale. Exhale, reach forward. Catch the outer feet or put your belt around the outer feet. Press your thighs down. Lift the chest. lengthen the front body. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the elbows out wide, as if you're rolling the stick back as you stretch the hamstrings, lengthening the hamstrings. Broaden the back of the thighs, keep your thigh bones pressing down, and resist the elbows away from the floor. If you drop the elbows down, you're inclined to shrink the armpit chest. So resist the elbows away from the floor as you pull on the feet and lengthen your armpit chest forward. Inhale, raise the head up. Exhale, come out of the pose. Come off your stick. And sit again, you're resting that area of the hamstrings as you sit here in Dandasana. Then we'll hold the stick with the hands shoulder width. Urdhva Dandasana. Press your thighs down, broaden the back of the knees. Inhale. Exhale, reach forward. And perhaps you can reach your stick behind the feet, the balls of the feet pressing into the stick. Now, clearly, if your hamstrings are not so long, that will be difficult. But if you're nearly there, I'll just come out to explain this. If you're nearly there and it's still a bit of a struggle, try sitting up on some height. Put a folded blanket under the buttocks and see if that helps you to come into the forward bend. You certainly don't want to be straining the lower back, having a significant rounding of the back and putting pressure there in your back if you've got concerns in your lower back. So we're here, we're lifting the chest, we're rolling the shoulders back and down. And as you pull on the rod, bend the elbows out, resist the elbows away from the floor, lengthen the abdomen, lengthen the chest over the legs, keep coming further forward and down, go on pressing the inner feet into the rod, particularly the inner feet, ankle bones squeezing together. And go on broadening the back of the thighs, broadening the back of the knees. And then we can come up, raise the head up. Let's raise the stick up as well as we come all the way up and out of the pose. Similarly, we'll do Janu Sirsasana. So we take that right knee out to the side. And of course, if there are knee concerns, you'll need to navigate that. Whether you're putting your belt in behind the knee to help create space, whether you don't bend the knee as much, whether you put a brick underneath or a blanket or a bolster underneath the knee, these are things that you need to work on or work with when you've got a problematic knee. But if possible, the knee moves back. The right heel comes back in line with the inner right thigh. And we'll raise the stick, the rod, lift the arms, lift the chest. Inhale, exhale, reach the stick forward to the ball of the foot. Pull on that to reassert the length in the front body. Sternum up, inhale, exhale. Go on pulling on the stick and resist the elbows away from the floor as you come forward over the left leg. The head of the right shin presses down as you move the right chest forward. Raise the head up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower and stretch the right leg straight. And let's take the left leg out. So you can catch the inner knee, take the leg back. So the left heel can come in line with the left groin if you've got that capacity. And also if you've got the capacity, you bring the shin down to the floor. And if that's not doable, fine. You've got to work with what you can manage, even if you've got some support here and the foot's not coming quite as high up towards the groin. But keep the kneecap and the toes on that right leg facing the ceiling. Hold your stick, lift the stick up, lift the arms up, lift the chest up. Inhale, exhale, reach forward. Take your stick over the foot to the ball of the foot and reassert the lift of the chest. So you're pulling on the rod, lift the sternum, inhale, exhale. And you keep pulling. And again, don't let the elbows drop. Resist the elbows away from the floor. Lengthen the armpit chest forward that way. Bring your abdomen along the right thigh. And as you roll the inner right thigh down, the ball of the big toe is pressing into the rod. The head of the left shin pressing to the floor so you can move the left chest forward. Then raise the head up. Inhale. Take the stick up, the rod up, and exhale. lower, stretch the leg forward. So we're going to work with Parivrtta Janu Sirsasana, which is a revolved pose where we have the legs in a similar kind of positioning, but then we're revolving the torso. So I'm going to turn and face you, and I'll mirror you. So we take the left leg out wide, but then we take the right knee out wide. The distance between the knees is greater than it was for the previous pose, Janu Sirsasana. So we're setting ourselves for Parivrtta Janu Sirsasana, and we're going to use the stick. I'm going to pull myself back so that my heel is also on the sticky mat. If it's really challenging for you to sit up straight, then use a blanket underneath the buttocks. That can often help. When we use the stick on the foot here, it's going to be on a slight angle. So the stick is leaning down to the floor in front of the foot, and it's leaning up away from the floor behind the foot. I want to lean forward, so I'm just going to hold the stick with my left hand. I want to lean forward with this right hand. And so I'm lengthening the right waist along. I'm getting my lefts and rights confused. I said I'm mirroring you. I think I'll just talk about I'm doing the right leg. So you can join me in doing the right leg, but just understand I'm not mirroring you. So we're going to lengthen the right right side waist along the right thigh. Reach forward. Sometimes it's helpful to push against the shin to get the elbow forward, reach the chest forward. Then you can hold the bottom of the stick with your hand, and then the left hand will reach over and hold the top of the stick. So as you're pulling on the stick, you're peeling that left elbow tip up and back, turning the chest up and back. And if you feel like you want to exaggerate that movement, maybe you even let that left knee lift, let the left hip lift, turn the chest. Eventually we're going to try and get that left knee back down, but you're peeling the left elbow tip back, turning the left chest up more and more as you're lengthening your body over that right leg. And then try to descend the left shin bone. And we can inhale, come up out of the pose. Swap your legs. So you can come through Dandasana. Take the left leg out wide and then bend the right knee out wide. So the right heel's coming in line with the right groin. We get ourselves ready. So the stick is there, the front of the stick is leaning down, the back of the stick is leaning up. And I'm just going to hold the stick with my right hand so I can leverage the movement. I'll often turn my left hand back, press against the inner shin to bring my chest further forward. So I want this left armpit chest to move further forward as I lengthen over the leg. I'm going to hold the stick with my left hand forward, my right hand back and up. And then I'm want to lift this right chest up, lift the elbow up. And again, if it's helpful, you can let the knee lift, let the hip lift, just to really exaggerate the movement of peeling the right elbow up and back, turning the right chest up. Maintain that as much as you can, and then try to get the head of the right shin back down. And then you can inhale and come all the way out of the pose. We'll sit in Dandasana. Give the inner thighs a rest. Let's move on to Upavistha Konasana. We take the legs wide. About a 90-degree angle between the legs. Again, if it's challenging for you to sit up straight and even more challenging for you to come forward, sit up on a blanket or two blankets. We're going to turn to the right leg first. And again, I'm not going to mirror you. I'm going to go over my right leg, so hopefully my instructions refer to the right leg as I'm talking. So we'll take the stick up in our Urdhva Hasta position. We'll turn the chest to face the right leg. And we'll exhale to come forward over the leg. Reach your stick around the ball of the foot. As you're pressing the ball of the foot to the stick, turn the chest more. So this left chest turns around to face the right leg. Inhale. Exhale. Pull on the stick. Resist the elbows away from the floor and bring your forehead towards your shin. Now, it's possible that the left hip, the left buttock lifts. So you can allow that to happen as you're really trying to get movement over the right leg. But once you're there in your forward bend, can you slide the left heel away from you and work to descend the left buttock again? Then raise the head up, raise the arms up, inhale, and let's turn to face the left leg. Inhale, exhale, fold forward, reach your stick over the ball of the foot, press the ball of the foot into the stick, reassert the lift of the sternum. Inhale, exhale, pull on the stick, elbows resist away from the floor, lengthen your abdomen over the thigh, forehead can come towards the shin. But as you're moving the body over the left leg, can you sweep the right chest around towards the leg more? And if you note the right buttock is lifted, then try and slide the right heel away from you and descend the right buttock again. Then to come out of the pose, we raise the stick up, press the thigh down to come up all the way, and exhale down. We'll move on to Parivrtta Upavistha Konasana. Similar to Parivrtta Janu Sirsasana, however, the back leg is straight. So again, we'll have our stick on an angle as we're reaching sideways over the leg. So I'm just going to leave the stick there as I move myself into the pose. Sometimes I'll work with the arm, my right arm reaching forward so that I can get my armpit chest more in front of the leg as I'm coming over the leg. So I'll start almost in a forward bend and then I'll go sideways over the leg with trying to get the back of the shoulder there inside the leg. Then holding the stick, the back of the stick sits high and we'll peel the left elbow up and back, and just to exaggerate that movement, allow the left heel to slide in, allow the left hip to lift. So you can exaggerate the movement of lifting the left elbow up and back, turning the left chest up. Once you feel you've got that, then slide the left heel away from you and work to descend the hip again. Head of the left thigh down. And then slowly come out of the pose. We'll take the stick to the other side. Now again, to come into the pose, I'm going to slide my left arm forward, almost doing a forward bend, and I want to get this armpit chest forward of the leg, the back of the shoulder coming inside the leg, and then I'll turn the hand to hold the rod and reach the right hand to the top of the rod. And to exaggerate the lift of the right elbow tip and the turning of the chest, I'll allow the right heel to slide in, allow the right hip, right buttock to lift, get as much movement in revolving the torso as I can. Peel the elbow up and back and then slide the right heel away from the hip and try to descend the right hip again. And we can slowly release and come out of the pose. Let's sit in simple cross legs for a moment, allowing the inner thighs to rest. And we'll finish up with our practice for today. If you enjoy practicing with me, I invite you to check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au, with over 450 full-length classes. I invite you to start your membership with a 7-day free trial. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me. For more in-depth teaching, check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. The link is in the description box below.